Hi, my name is Phoenix and this is Christ of Culture. Today I want to talk about what we should talk about. Last week Tuesday, I was just talking to God and I said, God, I don't know how to not gossip, not complain, not criticize. I said, I don't even know how conversations would look if I'm not gossiping or criticizing a subject or a person or just a matter at that. I was like, I don't even know how that would look. I was like, I don't even think that's humanly possible. I said, God, I just don't understand it. And I don't know how to stop doing it because I really don't like it. And it was becoming a really strong conviction to stop. So I was like, God, I just don't understand how to stop. And I was just talking to God and I got up and I left it at that. I was just like, God, I don't understand it and I don't understand how to do it. So if you could help me. And I got up and I went to wash. And as I was washing, I just felt this urge to read Ephesians chapter 5. I was reading Ephesians chapter 4, but after I finished chapter 4, I just wanted to read chapter 5. And as I was reading chapter 5 verse 4 says, nor should there be obscenity, foolish talk, or coarse joking, which are out of place. And as I read that, I was just like, okay, God, yeah, I know that, but I don't know how to stop. I was like, what should I do? And then right after that, it says, but Thanksgiving, but rather Thanksgiving. And I was like, I didn't even get it. I was like, okay, Thanksgiving, yeah. We used to do that all the time. Thanksgiving. So I read to the end, well, not to the end, but I read to verse 19. And it said, speaking to one another with psalms, hymns, and songs from the Spirit, singing and making music from your heart to the Lord. And I was just like, okay, how do you talk to one another with psalms? I was like, God, what? I just don't understand that. I was like, God, how? I was like, you saying not to gossip, but now I don't even know how to talk to one another with psalms. I don't know how to talk to people with a psalm, So then later in that day, I was just laying down, I think, and then the scripture came back to me and it was like, but with Thanksgiving, but rather Thanksgiving. And I was like, oh, okay, I get it. I shouldn't gossip, but I should find something to give thanks for. I shouldn't complain, but I should find something to give thanks for. I shouldn't criticize, but I should find something to give thanks for, because there's always something to give thanks to God for. In the scripture it says, making music from your heart to the Lord. That's verse 19. It's always something to make music from your heart to the Lord for. In any bad situation, in any complaining situation, in any criticizing situation. That's like, God, just teach me how to do that. Teach us as believers how to do that. Because I know sometimes it is a struggle not to gossip. Sometimes you see something and you just want to criticize it and you're like, God, help me. But I find that in that moment, you give thanks. You say, God, thank you. And I thank you for that person. And I just pray for them. I sing a song over them. So that's what I got from it. That we shouldn't judge and criticize and complain, but rather we should give thanks, continually give thanks, always praise, sing songs, speak to one another with those psalms, with that good word from our heart. Speak to one another, encourage and build up. And then in chapter 4 Ephesians, it actually talking about unity, how to be unified. So if we criticizing and we judging and we complaining, how is that unified? If we criticizing one another, how is that unified? If we judging and complaining about one another, how will we ever be unified? So we have to stop that. We have to make Thanksgiving our language. And just how I was saying, God, it just feels unnatural because we call to give thanks. It can feel unnatural, but as we come to Christ, our whole way of language and way of thinking have to change because we call to be more like Him. So we ain't called to judge, we ain't called to criticize, we ain't called to complain. I know we ain't called to complain, but we call to give thanks. So our language have to change, and it can seem unnatural because it isn't the way of the world. So it can seem unnatural, but it making us more like Christ, to talk like him, to think like him, to act like him. So when I just read this, it would just bless me, and I was thankful that God answered my prayer. But I thought he wasn't even gonna answer, because he was like, girl, you should know to not criticize. I thought that's what he was gonna say, but I was thankful that he answered, and that he was teaching me how to just talk to other people in love. How he was teaching me how to love one another with my words, not talking down to them, not criticizing them, not bashing them, not tearing them down, but building them up in unity, giving thanksgiving for them, giving praises for them, just praying over their life. I was just thankful for that. So as I sit here right now, I just want to encourage y'all to just sing those psalms, pray those psalms, sing good hymns to God, give him thanks, and give him thanks for all the stuff you want to criticize. Find something thankful, find something to give thanks for in that. Don't criticize it, but give thanks. Say, God, change the way I talk. God, change the way I look at things, change my perception, so that we could be more like him. So I just want to encourage y'all, if you feel like judging, if you feel like criticizing, if you feel like complaining, just remember that God called us to give thanks. God called us to be unified, and he doesn't call us to judge. He doesn't call us to complain. So just remember to strive to continually be more like Christ. Thank you for watching this video, and I pray that both me and you learn how to be more like Christ and not complain, but sing thanksgiving, give thanksgiving, and worship our God in spirit and in truth. So I just pray that you have a blessed day, and that you are blessed and encouraged by this video.